Hi guys, Brant here, and welcome to another commentary video. This is gonna be another like off the cuff one. Typically with most of these videos, I only usually go off of like a few bullet points, if that. Usually it's just one or two, but this one I'm just kind of going rogue here and just talking because lately, not even just lately, but in general, a lot of people get kind of confused with like how I feel about the game. Because basically it seems like there's a little bit of confusion when I refer to DBD as a party game. So I wish it was a little bit more fun and free. And when I get into wanting to balance things, because people have, people seem to think this is sort of like a hypocritical thing. Like these things can't coexist at the same time. You can't want to balance the game and you can't want it to be a party game at the same time. And I don't think that's intrinsically true. So I kind of just want to like talk about be open about my viewpoints on like the whole party versus balance conversation and where my head is at with that. And obviously, of course, like like I said, I have 4,000 hours in the game. So like I have experience with the game, but I feel way different now at 4K hours than I did at 2K hours, than I did at 1K hours, than I did in like 500 hours, right? So these ideas and feelings are always changing, but at least right now, this is what I'm feeling about the whole balance versus party thing. Because, like I said, there's been kind of like I don't get where your head's at with it, so I'm just going to explain. So this is something I kind of covered in the Gary video that I just the solo queue is solo queue OP video that Gary just put out that we did a react to. It's something I sort of covered there, and I kind of want to put this very firmly here so you know how I feel about it instead of having to go through an hour video to try to search for that one section to, see what's happening. I think DBD is fundamentally a party game, and that's just built by nature because it's an asim, right? Like, it's something as little as RNG can screw you over. If you're playing Sadako and you get sent to Batum, obviously that's bad RNG for you. You can lose the match just because you got sent to a bad map. Whereas, you could be playing like Wesker and then in a bunch of Shelterwoods and it's bad RNG for the survivors, because you're playing the top 5 character on a very, very weak map. Like, there's a lot of things that can screw you over in this game that have like quite literally nothing to do with you. And it is a party game. It is just a game where like just anything can happen and anything can, go off the walls. And there is a lot of fun to be had with that. There's a lot of fun to be had with the RNG that isn't necessarily like bad or dumb, right? I can't tell you how many times I've had like a really, really good survivor match because a busted setup has just spawned on the map for no reason, where it's like I have this path tile into this jungle gym, into shack, and I'm just like, wow, this is like, those are like the chase that I conduct there as survivor, super fun. So it's just like, how does this killer try to circumvent this really strong setup? And, vice versa, like when I'm chasing somebody on Auto Haven and they get that new U-All tile that's freaking useless, like trying to watch them try to make something out of that, like there's funny little moments you could have with that. And I think that I think what Gary put it best was he called it uncertainty. There's a lot of uncertainty to Dead by Daylight, just the map you go to, the characters that you run into, the perks that they run into. There's a lot of uncertainty, and uncertainty is fun in the game. And I do want that to be preserved. I do think that that's a really important aspect of Dead by Daylight. And if you overbalance the game, it will become boring. The reason I care so much about balance is because I am trying to tackle the outliers. And unfortunately, DBD seems to have a lot of outliers. We brought up Batum earlier. Why does Batum have 3 main buildings and a shack? Most maps in the game have a shack and a main building. And sometimes not even a shack. Sometimes they'll just have a main building and that's it. Most maps have both one or the other. For some reason, Batum has 3 main buildings and shack. So it's extra loaded compared to most maps in the game. It is an outlier. It is different from the rest in a way that I don't think is particularly healthy for the killer side of the game. So it is an outlier. It's something that's a little extreme, something that is strange, that is apart from everything else by a massive margin. And I think those are the kind of things that I look at and I want to tackle, right? That's why I complained about old Dead Hard, like for so much of my DBD career, is because Dead Hard was a massive outlier as a perk. It got you so much value for so little input. It was crazy. Like, it literally was a huge outlier compared to other Survivor perks. Other Survivor perks, even like Lithe requires you to find a window. You can vault incorrectly with Lithe. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can vault incorrectly with Lithe and get hit through the window. That is totally 100,000% a thing. But like old Dead Hard, where you got distance and invincibility, it was literally such a strong effect for so little input on your part. It was an incredibly strong perk, and it was an outlier. It was a huge outlier. It was above and beyond other perks in the game by a massive extent. So it deserved its nerf, which is why we pushed for that for so long. So that's kind of the stuff that I try to focus on. Is the things that I feel like stick out. Things that are like excessively so. Way, way, way too asymmetrical. Way, way, way too RNG. Something that just is not at all just in line with the other stuff in the game. And I don't think that these things go against each other, because that's a big thing I always see. Not even just with like my content, but like when other people talk about like DBD content, they're like, "Oh, you're a hypocrite. You can't say it's a party game and want balance." It's like, I don't think it's crazy or absurd to want to have the more fun and freeness of Dead by Daylight and say symmetry preserved, but if something goes way out of bounds, way above and beyond, and just does something really crazy and weird, that we want to bring that in line with the other things that are mostly just fun and kind of odd, right? I don't think that's a weird thing for me. Like, and I've never thought it was. So it wasn't until like, you know, I really started like, you know, getting deep into this content stuff. I mean, like, we've been going with the YouTube for like almost 2 years at this point, right? And I've been streaming for over 2 years. So like, I've been doing this a while, and it's just like never something I've seen as a problem. But, you know, especially lately, it just seems like people can't comprehend that, yeah, I want this to mostly be a party game. But when something goes outside the bounds and becomes a little too strong, I just kind of want that brought back into the fun zone. I want it to be back in a zone where like these things can be fun. I think it just hit me. It just hit me. Why does fun for you mean having super strong busted things in the video game? I think that's my question. Like, I think that's my counterpoint. Like, is that what's fun for you, having super strong busted in the game? Like, is that what equates fun to you? Because like, to me, that maybe that's the disconnect, because I don't see that, right? Like if something's like super busted and just like lets you breeze through a match, whether that be a strong map or a strong perk, strong add-on, I'm like, it's not really a party, right? like if you guys have actually been to a party in real life, like if some dude just walks in and tries to hog all the intention and make all of the activities of the party about himself, we hate that guy. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're like, "Ugh, dude, who invited so-and-so? Like, he's kind of a jerk." Like, can somebody ask him to leave? Right? That's what happens in real life. But DBD, like you'll have one perk come in and win the whole match for him, and we're like, "Oh yeah, that's true asymmetry there. That's a fun party." Like, it's strange to me. Like, I don't get that. Like, I get what a lot of people are trying to say, where it's like, you don't want to overbalance everything, right? Like, I hear people do crazy stuff all the time. Like, we need to nerf Myers' tier 3. I've heard that one before. We need to nerf Myers' tier 3 because it's uninteractive, because he can just walk up behind you and pop it and down you. That's not very interactive, is it? It's like, Myers is the most outdated base kit in the game. Myers is, unless he's using Tombstone, abysmally weak. like hello, let's get rid of his tier 3 because of the sake of balancing. Like, yeah, you want to avoid stuff like that. I totally understand. I completely understand where you're coming from that. Stuff like that is really dumb. Stuff like that is really stupid. But that's like not where my head is at. Like, that's not what I think, like, at all. I am definitely with you. We should not overbalance this game to remove any fun aspect whatsoever. And I know some people are really into that. Some people really wanted to actually, like, you know, turn this into a full sweat game and balance everything out. I personally only care about the outliers. I only care about the things that are extremely strong. And those are the things are extremely strong or extremely weak. Those things I want brought more in line with the other stuff in the game. And it just so happens that there happens to be a lot of that because, you know, poor old Debbie Delight and its existential problems that it's always had trying to be in line with other games. So, yeah. Hopefully that helped clear things up, because that's just been a question that has been asked, not even just recently, but across many videos. So I kind of want to put it in one place of like, why do you care so much about balance if you think it's a party game? That's why. I do still think it's a party game. there's just a lot of outliers that I think are a little too extreme that should be brought in line, and I don't think that goes. Like what I said earlier, wanting to balance outliers does not equal anti-fun. If anything, if you need busted stuff to have fun in a party game, like, what? What do you mean? Why? So hopefully that's the reason that I'm having a disconnect here. Hopefully that's the reason I'm having a disconnect, is I just, like, in my head, I'm like, I don't need busted stuff to have fun in a party game, but some people seem to intrinsically think that busted things must be in party games for them to be fun. I play plenty of party games that don't have, like, some busted insta-win mechanic, and, like, I have a great time all the time, so I don't know. Maybe that's the key to understanding this, but yeah, I just want to put that out there. It was a little bit of a rant, and I was kind of spaghettiing all over the place, but it's just kind of like speaking from my chest here. So hopefully that clears some things up. If it didn't, I don't know what to tell you. Yeah, I think I covered basically everything I wanted to say there. Hopefully that cleared some things up. If it didn't, I don't know. I don't know how to help you. But thank you so much for watching, friends. I do upload daily, but if I don't see you tomorrow, well, you know, I'll see you when I see you. Bye.